Hi Jim, what's up my friend?
What is Maker Pipe?
Maker Pipe builds fantastic steel connectors for mating.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm fascinated to talk to you because I've been following your Instagram. Thank you so much for, shouting us out and tagging us. And I
Are we-
got to hear what you're up to. You gotta fill me in.
So when I had Robojango's original frame, I didn't, I just wanted to use local parts from the store. So I went and bought a lot of things like Ace and True Value. And I went to the auto parts store to buy some lifters. And I just walked in there one day to get some bolts. And I was like, wow, these are cool. Those might look good on the robot. So when I originally started, these are like the wheels that I ended up with. There's the pulley system for the steering. And as you can see, I use like the heavy industrial pipe steel.
Yeah.
Issues, I've cracked probably like 6 or 8 of these over time as it wears on it. And I made it so it had independent all 4 wheels. So that was sort of a challenge because the wheels were always like moving out of like place because it's threaded steel and there's a little give there. So about a month ago, I just decided, like 2 years ago, I bought these the actual motors for the e-razor scooter 2 years ago. Actually, it just never got around to putting the motors on because I couldn't figure out how I was going to like put it on the existing platform. And several times I tried prototyping it out with some pipe steel and got like an idea together. But then he just always rolled well, and I was running with him and I got in really good shape. So last summer I probably ran about 2,000 miles with the guy, and he rolled really well once I got all the wheels aligned properly. And sometimes I had to bungee him. So after when I started to do this new design, most of the back wheel vehicles are fixed, and the front wheels, they'll move together. They usually don't move independently because physics wise, why would they want to separate out? So for now, I'm just going to go with the fixed axle in the front and back.
Hey, hello there, human person.
Is Django talking? But having that independent axle, I might get back to the design because I really liked it. But for the moment, I'm going to stick with the solid axle in the front and back. And where most vehicles have a fixed axle in the back, I wanted to have it like a Rover, so both axles would turn. So how do you do that? Well, you have to have you model like a truck bed or a skateboard where you have a center peg, and then everything rotates on that center peg. And you put your wheel assembly and your front and back off that center peg. You attach the center pegs, and then I can rotate off the front and back off those center pegs. So that was the design. And I built some stuff out of wood, and I was looking, before I design something, I go on the internet and I look, and I was looking at dune buggies and Polaris snowmobiles and all kinds of things to make a cart. And I came across Maker Pipe in a posted article. I think I sent that to you, the article that I referenced. And this guy had built a dune buggy out of Maker Pipe. I'm like, what the heck's Maker Pipe? Maker Pipe sounds perfect for a maker because I'm a maker. And I'm like, I have all these connectors, and I know that it would be awesome if I had different shapes. And I have ideas for more for you. But it was really nice because I've always been looking for different ways to connect this pipe steel. And Maker Pipe was like, it had the right name. And I'm a maker, and I'm like, so I went and got the kit. And I knew it was like, I have friends that do out on the Maker Fair, Suffolk County. They do welding, and I always wanted to go to a welding shop, but I know for me to invest in welding as being a startup, I'm not ready to do that. But I've always wanted to weld, and that's on my goal list because I'm going to build a General Grievous wheel, and I really want to make the steel and weld that myself. But in the meantime, since I didn't have that skill, Maker Pipe is like perfect because it's so strong. And it gives you the strength of like welded steel. And now I don't have to weld anything, and I don't have to invest my time in learning how to arc weld. And I don't have to buy the $2,000 to $3,000 burner to like use the plasma cutters and whatever else you have to do with that.
Yeah.
Because I've looked at that stuff. It's not cheap, to really do welding well.
Right.
So the
Yeah, it
maker
is an
pipe was
investment.
the maker pipe was absolutely perfect. So I started off, with that little bag, and then I went on your site and I bought a couple more bags, because what I do is I do community builds for the village over in the Arts in the Plaza, and a person donated to me a wheelchair. So I said, I'm going to take maker pipe, I'm going to build a platform, and I'm going to build a ramp that lowers and raises so that the people who are physically mobility impaired can bring their vehicle up onto the ramp, and then the ramp will transport them down to the water, because we really don't have that here at the beach. So that's going to be a community build. The wheelchair is working, the motors work, the batteries are good, but you can't be sitting in a wheelchair. So maker pipe is going to be our solution for that. And I have the steel and I have the pipe, and this weekend I'll probably have kids starting to cut and start on that, hopefully.
Oh,
But I'm getting
that's
back to
sweet.
him.
That's awesome that you're finding a lot of use for it. That really makes me excited. And I know Robojango, it's got a lot of miles on it. You told me that, right?
Yeah.
How long has this project Robojango been going for you?
My son actually started me off on this. I had no idea that you could build an Android. And one day he says, Dad, I want a 3D printer. I want to build this Android. I said, and we went back and forth, and I went on the internet and I looked it up from Gal Langevin in France, who originally designed it. I said, wow, this is really cool. So I invested in the printer, and it sat there and collected dust. And I never buy anything without using it. So I built the finger and I got hooked. Then I built the arm, and then I built the head, and I put vision in and started talking to it. And then what really launched it is there was a kids' day event where I work in the city where they were having 140 kids. And like 2 months prior, I said, I could take my robot and build a box for them and throw them out a shopping cart and wheel them in. And that's what I did. So I just started with shopping cart wheels and into next wheels and next wheels. And he went through many iterations, but this one here is going to stay. I don't think I'm going to change it because it's a solid rover. And what I did is, obviously I have the lifters from the original design. I made a center pole on a thicker pipe, so I can't really attach maker pipe to that. I used a clamp. And when I found out I had to put the lifters on, they were smacking into the frame. So I had to cut 3 more 2x4s to raise this up. Eventually, I just put a nice solid piece in there. But I got it raised up, and then you can see the maker pipe. Now, if I just took the robot and set him on this platform here, he would be wobbling all over. Even if I bolted him down, his center of gravity would be spread too much across the rover main piece. So that's why maker pipe made it really cool. Using physics in those 45-degree connectors, all the force is coming down and hitting on the maker pipe.
I've got a picture from your Instagram. You put up a couple photos of the assembly.
Yeah, there we go.
Is that
so I have a nice 45-degree.
Yeah.
And I double connected it all the way to the back. And then on the top, he actually sits, I actually added 2 more crossbars. So now he has 4 crossbars across here. Underneath, he has 4 crossbars rather than the 2.
Is that one of the latest versions?
Yeah, I added 2 more crossbars to the frame. First, yesterday I thought I'd be smart. When I first made the maker pipe, my goodness, he was almost 6'8". And I was like, oh my gosh, the center of gravity is just way off. And I was just like freaking. And so the other day I took 1.5 inches off each of the pipes. And then I missed it. I had to take another inch off. And I lowered it down yesterday. So now the maker pipe aligns directly with the wood platform. So now I have contact point here, here, and the center. So now it's sturdy. I mean, I can just, this baby is strong.
Yeah.
It's strong. I'm going to have to get it a weight test, but I mean, the axle, I think, is 500 pounds. So I'm sure it's going to support the 500 pounds. And yeah, I'm really impressed. I'm impressed with the product. And I don't think there's never gonna be a day where there's not maker pipe connectors in my shop,
Oh,
because
that's so
I just
awesome to hear.
I like building a lot of things, and this will be good for the community builds because we can really do some nice stuff that requires like welded steel that we couldn't do before. And the kids can do this too. It's very easy, to cut pipe. It's good for them. I don't use a pipe cutter.
Yeah, I think it's good for them too. Anytime we've gone to a maker fair, and we've been to a bunch of them, we just let them loose, and you always get the typical things, like you get the swords and the guns and the every once in a while you'll get something else, but that's good for them to build physically, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have all that fun stuff here for them too. As you say, this is his because I actually teach all the time on Nepris. I'll just pop this baby off. This is his shield, and it's double gauged, and that's his bulletproof shield that protects all his internal components.
Yeah,
So if there's anything awry, he's going to be a superhero, and he's going to go save the day.
nice. Where does he get out to normally? I mean, you take him to maker fairs and that kind of thing, right? But
Actually, I haven't. I pretty much just work my community
yeah,
because years ago, one guy told me, if you can't make it in your backyard, why should you be like trying to make it around the world first? And I learned that lesson. So I want to try to make it in my backyard before. It's far easier, actually, if I was somewhere else in the country, because Long Beach is so close to the city of New York.
mhm.
So it's got that, the New York attitude. Everybody's just like, leave me alone, stay away from me. But if I took this robot to like Rochester, Buffalo, or upstate New York, the kids would just flock to the yard.
Yeah.
Here it's like, don't go near there. Don't, So it's an overcoming challenge. It's just a different challenge.
Yeah. Well, I hope the kids in your community check it out because it looks so awesome, and it sounds like you're taking that and then taking it to the next level by solving a good community problem with the wheelchair and that beach access. That's really neat.
Cool. It
Yeah.
was very nice talking to you, David.
Yeah, it's a pleasure talking to you as well. Thank you so much for the support. And it's thrilling to see Maker Pipe is just a part of Robojango, just a small part. Um, so if I can do anything for you in a future project, you just holler at me, let me know. Always just a phone call away.
All right. Thank you very much, man.
All right. Have
All
a
right.
good
All
one.
right. Have a good day, man.
You too. Take care.